China's only female emperor, Empress Zetian Tang Emperor Gaozong Lizi. Zetian was the only female emperor in Chinese history who ruled the Tang dynasty for 15 years. During Zetian's reign, the Tang dynasty was characterized by rapid socio-economic and cultural development. From talent to empress. Zetian's father, Samurai Ingguo, was a general under Li Yuan, the founder of the Tang dynasty, and later followed Li Yuan in his revolt. In 620 AD, when his wife died of illness, Emperor Gaozong of Tang made a match with the daughter of Yongda, a prominent nobleman of the former dynasty, to marry him. Yong married into the Wu family and gave birth to 3 daughters, the second of which was Zetian, born on the 23rd day of the first month of the 7th year of the Tang Emperor's reign 624 in the capital city of Chang'an. Zetian spent her teenage years with her father, who was an official, in Lezhou present-day Guangyuan, Sichuan province. Her father doted on her and allowed her to study and write. But soon after he died of illness, the family returned to Chang'an. At the age of 14, Emperor Tang Taizong's Empress Changsun passed away, and his ministers urged him to conduct another beauty contest and favor a new wife to relieve his depression. Zetian was chosen for her beauty in Chang'an. Zetian was summoned to the palace in the late fall of the 11th year of the Zhengyuan reign. Because of her exceptional beauty, Emperor Taizong doted on her and called her Mingyong in private, and she was soon named Talent. Zetian could have been promoted very quickly, but because Emperor Taizong later found that she was stubborn, not good at flattering, and did not give birth to a son or a daughter for him, Emperor Taizong did not favor her, and the title of Talent remained unchanged and unimproved. In the 23rd year of the reign of Emperor Zhengyuan, Emperor Taizong of the Tang dynasty he passed away, according to the custom of the Tang harem, after the death of the emperor. Concubines who had served the previous emperor, but had not given birth to any children had to become nuns. Those who had given birth to children had to be put into the cold palace to keep the widowhood for the dead emperor. Therefore, Zetian was sent to the Shuixian nunnery of the Sensai temple to become a nun. One day in the 5th year of Zetian's visit to the temple, Emperor Lizi came to the temple for incense, and Zetian deeply attracted Emperor Gaozong with her beauty, and he brought Zetian back to the palace despite the constraints of Buddhist rules and rituals. There are 2 possible reasons why Zetian was re-enlisted by Emperor Lizi of the Tang dynasty. One is that Emperor Lizi of the Tang dynasty already had an affair with Zetian when he was the crown prince. After Zetian entered the palace, she knew that Emperor Tang Taizong was much older than she was and that she could not stay with him for the rest of her life. So she began to look for a new backer, and the weak, loyal and honest Crown Prince Lizi became her best candidate. The 2 of them had an affair. The second theory is that Zetian's entry into the palace was related to the court rivalry between Empress Wang and Xiao Shufai. After hearing about Zetian's affair with Emperor Gaozong as the crown prince, Empress Wang decided to take Zetian into the palace to limit Xiao Shufai's power. So Empress Wang encouraged Emperor Gaozong to take Zetian into the palace. And she even decided to let Zetian grow her hair before entering the palace. After entering the palace, Zetian was also very grateful to Empress Wang for her care, and she treated Empress Wang with great respect and served Emperor Gaozong well. She was soon promoted to Zhaoyi, the first of the 9 concubines. Under the joint attack of Empress Wang and Zetian, it did not take long for Princess Xiao to be abolished as a concubine. However, Zetian knew very well that Empress Wang's next target would be herself. Therefore, to consolidate her position, she had to use attack as a defense to bring down Empress Wang ultimately. It is said that soon after Wu Zetian entered the palace, she gave birth to a son, and her second child, a girl, was adorable and loved by Emperor Tang Gaozong. Once, Empress Wang came to visit the little princess, but after she had left, Wu Zetian went so far as to strangle her daughter, in a way that went against human nature and framed Empress Wang. Naturally, Empress Wang became the target of Emperor Gaozong's suspicion, so he was determined to abolish her. On the 13th day of the 10th month of the 5th year of the Yonghu reign, Emperor Gaozong formally issued an imperial decree abolishing Empress Wang as an affluent person. 6 days later, he made Wu Zetian his empress. Gaozong had 12 children, and Wu Zetian gave birth to 4 boys and 2 girls, which shows how much Wu Zetian was favored. However, the vicious Wu Zetian did not let go of Empress Wang and Consort Shao, who had been sent to the cold palace, and she wanted to eliminate them before she could feel at ease. In front of Emperor Gaozong of the Tang dynasty, she accused Empress Wang and Consort Shao of using witchcraft to harm herself. Emperor Gaozong, being a natural coward, proclaimed to depose Queen Wang and Consort Shao. Iron-fisted governance with a twist. Wu Zetian had excellent political skills. In the first year of Emperor Gaozong's reign 674 A.D., Wu Zetian wrote 12 articles known as the 12 Proposals, including the development of agriculture, tax relief, and the opening of a wide range of speech, basically a complete set of strategies for governing the country. Gaozong read and greatly appreciated it and issued an imperial decree ordering the implementation of the whole country, which began Wu Zetian's rule. Emperor Gaozong of the Tang dynasty was weak and sickly and was often unable to listen to the government in front of the court. Wu Zetian began to manipulate the court affairs gradually. Emperor Gaozong was naturally weakling, so he was glad to have time. When Emperor Gaozong wanted to appoint Wu Zetian as the queen, Changsun Wuji and others tried to stop him. So Wu Zetian created a case of cronyism and implicated Changsun Wuji in it. The emperor did not know what to do, so he exiled Changsun Wuji by imperial decree and then forced him to kill himself. The Changsun family was also gradually purged, killed or exiled. Wu Zetian also fabricated evidence that Shang Wenyi, the minister of the West Terrace, and Li Zhong, the abrogated prince, were plotting to rebel and had them executed. Due to Wu Zetian's toughness and systematic handling of government affairs, she established her authority among the ministers in the court, and no one dared to oppose her. Although Emperor Gaozong was dissatisfied with Wu Zetian's arbitrariness, he could not help relying on her. In this way, Wu Zetian gradually moved from the background to the front, and later on, she even accepted the worship of ministers together with Emperor Gaozong of the Tang dynasty. In the first year of the Shangyuan era 674 AD, Emperor Gaozong was called Emperor of Heaven. Wu Zetian was called Empress of Heaven, and they were called the Two Saints. From then on, the court's power was in Wu Zhao's hands. As early as 656 AD, Li Zhong, the crown prince not born to Wu Zetian, was deposed, and Li Hong, Wu Zetian's eldest son, was made the crown prince. Li Hong was a loyal, modest and forbearing man of great talent. Gaozong was weak and sickly and wanted to abdicate his throne to Li Hong. However, Wu Zetian wanted to maintain the power in her hands. Since Li Hong was not obedient to Wu Zetian poisoned her 24-year-old son Li Hong to death in the second year of the reign of Emperor Shangyu, and 675 AD, and established her second son Li Zion as the crown prince. When Gaozong's health deteriorated, after losing his son, he wanted to give up the throne to Wu Zetian. Due to the strong opposition of the ministers, the government had to entrust the crown prince with the major affairs of the court. Prince Zetian handled the government affairs skillfully, and the courtiers appreciated him, which caused Zetian's uneasiness. Zetian once again instructed people to falsely accuse the crown prince of being obsessed with women and wanting to seize the throne as soon as possible. In August 680 AD, Zetian was demoted to the status of a commoner, and Zetian, the third son of Zetian, was established as the crown prince. In the first year of Hongdao 683 AD, Gaozong died of illness, and Zetian succeeded to the throne as Emperor Gaozong. According to Gaozong's posthumous edict, he had to listen to Zetian's opinion on state affairs. Soon after, Zetian assumed the title of Empress Dowager. A year later, Zetian abrogated King Gaozong and crowned him King of Luling, while at the same time, she installed her fourth son Li Dan as Emperor Ruizong. She realized her control of the court by changing emperors. Zetian and Li Dan were mediocre and incompetent and merely puppets of Zetian, subject to her in every way. Later, Zetian changed Luoyang, the eastern capital, to the divine capital, intending to use it as the capital for her future emperors. Zetian's power was so great that she was already the real emperor of the court, which caused the old ministers of the Tang emperor to rise and work for the king. The most famous one being Zhu Jingyi, a descendant of Zhu Mogong. The most famous one was Zhu Jingyi, a descendant of Zhu Mogong, who was banished at this time, gathered a group of people dissatisfied with the imperial government and started a rebellion in Luzhou. Later on, the royal family members of Wang Li Chong in Bajou and Yuan Lijian in Yuzhou also started a rebellion against Zetian. Zetian personally commanded and mobilized troops to pacify the rebellion. During this period, Prime Minister Peiyin asked Zetian to return the rule to Emperor Ruizong, but she executed him. After that, Zetian changed the prime ministers so often that they had no real power. Soon after, the rebellion was quelled. The rebels died in battle, or were arrested and killed, and no one was spared. After surviving this crisis, Zetian demonstrated her cold and decisive character by massively implicating and killing the Li clan members. In 690 AD, Zetian used the mouth of the Buddhist monk Ming to create public opinion, saying that Empress Wu was the reincarnation of Maitreya Buddha, who would take over Tang's reign as the Son of Heaven. In addition, someone from the private sector presented a white stone engraved with the words, "The Holy Mother of God is near to the people, and will continue to prosper forever," saying that it was from the waters of Luoshui. Seeing that the time was ripe, Zetian ascended to the throne of the emperor on the Chongying festival, in 690 AD, amidst the cries of honoring the heavenly instructions and obeying the opinions of the people. Formally established the Great Zhou dynasty, changed its name to Heavenly Mandate, and proclaimed herself the sacred divine emperor, Emperor of the Holy Spirit. Thus, Zetian became the first female emperor in Chinese history at 66. During Zetian's reign, the economy of the Tang dynasty was further developed. First, she emphasized the importance of agriculture and mulberry farming and focused on developing agricultural productivity. Zetian explicitly prohibited the annexation of land, protected the interests of farmers, and encouraged local officials to strengthen agricultural production management. She also made people write a book on agriculture, Zhaoren Binyeji, which was issued to the whole country and had a more accurate grasp of the agricultural time, and was of great help to the development of agricultural production. Secondly, she searched widely for talents and emphasized the use of commoners. After Zetian assumed the throne, she abandoned the previous bad habits based on family history. She ordered that regardless of seniority or rank, anyone could recommend talents to the court to become an official or recommend themselves. After the examination, they would be recruited according to their talents. She perfected the imperial examination system, which had begun in the Sui dynasty, so those from poor backgrounds could obtain official positions based on their talents. In the first year of the Tuanzhu reign 690 AD, Zetian introduced the imperial examinations to select civil officials. In the second year of Chang'an, d. 702, she introduced the martial arts examination to select military generals, and for a time, she had many talented people. The prime minister she appointed, such as Li Zhaod, Wei Yuanzhong, Du Jingjian, Du Renji, Yao Chong, and Zhang Hanzi, as well as the border generals, such as Tang Zhu, Lu Shide, and Guo Yuanzhen, were all outstanding men. These people played a significant role in the political and economic development of the Zetian period, and even influenced the subsequent Tang Xuanzong era for a time. Successive rulers needed help dealing with the nomadic peoples of the north. Zetian's approach to the relationship with the nomads in the north, which was a combination of kindness and authority, also achieved good results. Zetian solved the problem by recruiting soldiers, sending out enslaved people, and organizing solidarity soldiers on the spot. She also adopted the policy of setting up Tuanshan in the border areas to realize self-sufficiency in food and solve the problem of transportation of food, thus relieving the worries of war. In the first year of Changshu 692 AD, Zetian took advantage of the internal turmoil of the Tubo to launch a war against the Tubo and won a great victory, restoring and rebuilding the four towns of Guzi, Yutuan, Shul and Shiba, consolidating the western borders of the Tang Empire, and bringing the area of the Tianshan Mountains and the northern and southern regions of the Tang Empire into the Tang Empire. As a result, the traffic in this region was eased, and the once disrupted trade routes to Central Asia were redeveloped, thus promoting economic and cultural exchanges between China and foreign countries. Zetian not only relied on martial arts, but also emphasized the rule of literature. She gathered Zhou Simao, Fen Qubing, Wei Jingyi, and other Confucianists compiled Zhuanwan and Gujin Nifan, each of 100 volumes, Qinggong Jiao and Xiaoyong Zhengfan, each of 30 volumes, and Wai King Diang Shun, Fenglu Xinxin, Xiaoyu Zizi, and Lianian Zizi, each of 20 volumes. Zetian's literary training was also very high, and she authored the Qinggong Ji in hundreds of volumes and the Jinlun Ji in 10 volumes, which have unfortunately been lost. The Quan Tang Shi, a record of her poems, contains 58 poems, most of which were written for temple worship, but some are also poems about traveling and expressing emotions. Through these policies, Zetian dealt a heavy blow to the power of the scholarly clans, and many poor scholars who had obtained titles of merit through the imperial examinations supported Zetian's rule and became new supporters of Zetian. Zetian not only consolidated her rule but also significantly strengthened the power of the Tang dynasty, employing coolies and keeping male pets. Soon after Zetian became the emperor, she ordered people to set up crane control supervisor and Feng Chen order to study the art of making offerings before bed. Zetian believed that since men could have many concubines when they were emperors, they should have many male pets when they were emperors now. Therefore, Zetian had many male pets, including Zhu Huaiyi, Shennan Zhong Yizi and Zhang Changzong. When she was in her 60s, she favored Zhu Huaiyi and asked him to join the temple as a monk. so that he could enter the palace in the name of a monk to be pampered. In her 70s, she made the beautiful young man Zhang Yizi, Zhang Changzong brothers for powder shiju clothing brocade embroidered clothes, and she and her daughter Princess Taiping Yanju for pleasure. Although Zetian favored male pets, she did not influence her decisions on national affairs. Zetian set up a court at the Lijing Gate, which the people called the New Open Door, and appointed Li Junchen as the head of the court, in charge of significant cases. The people said that only 100 or 200 people sent to the new gate could save their lives. When Li Junchen interrogated a prisoner, he often came up with new and strange ways to make the person being interrogated unable to live and die. On one occasion, a letter of rebuke was sent to Zetian, the content of which was to denounce the minister Zhou Xing and others planning a rebellion. Zetian was furious and ordered Li Junchen to investigate the matter. Li Junchen thought that Zhou Xing was a cunning and treacherous person, and he could not be made to tell the truth by a mere letter. After thinking hard for half a day, he finally devised a brilliant plan. He prepared a sumptuous banquet and invited Zhou Xing to his home. He invited Zhou Xing to his home, and they drank and chatted. After 3 rounds of wine, Li Junchen sighed and said, "I usually handle cases and often encounter some prisoners who refuse to confess. I wonder what you have to do." Zhou Xing smiled and said, "You find a big urn surrounded by a charcoal fire, and then let the prisoner into the urn. Think about it. What prisoners do not confess?" Li Junchen nodded his head and said yes, and then ordered people to carry a large urn, as Zhou Xing said, on the charcoal fire, and then turned back to Zhou Xing and said, "There are people in the palace to accuse you of plotting against the government, and the higher-ups have ordered me to investigate strictly. I'm sorry. Now please get into the urn yourself." Upon hearing this, Zhou Xing fell to his knees and kowtowed, "I am guilty. I am guilty. I confess." It is the famous story of inviting the king into the urn. Zetian used the coolies, but did not trust them entirely and never used them. Therefore, those coolies were the only tools used by Zetian in her struggle against the Li clan. Once their mission was accomplished, Zetian took advantage of the public anger and executed them one after another without mercy. Therefore, the politics of coolies was only one of Zetian's political means. Of course, apart from pampering male pets and appointing coolies, Zetian's policy of selecting officials in a hands-off manner also led to an increase in the number of bureaucratic groups and the expansion of their organizations, significantly aggravating the burden of the people. In the latter part of her reign, the evasion problem became more serious, and the system of government soldiers began to deteriorate. Zetian advocated Buddhism and built many temples, a celestial pivot, and 9 tripods using more than £2 million of steel. She also spent a lot of labor and resources to excavate the famous Longmen grottos, which were built then. In her later years, Zetian was very ambitious, lived an extravagant life, and spent a lot of money and labor, all of which were denied by later generations. Hesitation in establishing the crown prince, and the return of the kingdom to Tang. The world accepted that Zetian was the emperor of the Zhou dynasty. But who would succeed her? Zetian was in a dilemma. After Zetian established the Zhou dynasty, she gave her nephews many titles, and many of her descendants became prime ministers and generals, holding great power in the imperial court. Many of the Wu family's descendants became prime ministers and generals and held great power in the imperial court. It reflected Zetian's desire to make her nephew of the Wu family named the crown prince, and the most suitable candidate at that time was Wu Chengxi. In 693 AD, Zetian held a grand ceremony in the palace of Wangxiong, the Hall of Light. And this time, Zetian unexpectedly made her nephew Wuchenji the sub-honored son and Wusansi the final honored son, while the official crown prince Li Dan was left out in the cold. However, Zetian's wish was fiercely opposed by Chancellor Du Renji and other ministers, who strongly advocated that the throne be passed on to Crown Prince Li Dan and explained the advantages and disadvantages. Zetian thought about it and thought that it was reasonable, because if the nephew is the crown prince, then although the power of the great Zhou can continue, because she is already the Wu family's married daughter, according to the system of etiquette, she is already an outsider and, therefore, will not be enshrined in the ancestral temple, which is precisely what Zetian do not want to see the end of the day. If she made her son the crown prince and succeeded to the throne in the future, she would naturally be able to keep her position as the Empress Dowager and enjoy the offerings of her children and grandchildren together with her husband, Emperor Gaozong, for generations to come. However, she would have to return to the old tradition she had already broken. In addition to Wu Chengxi and Crown Prince Li Dan, Princess Taiping also wanted to get the chance to inherit the throne. Although Zetian was very fond of her and had once thought about it, she completely dismissed the idea quickly. Because both in terms of power and ability, Princess Taiping was far inferior to herself, and letting her succeed her would undoubtedly be self-defeating. At the same time, it was difficult for the court's ministers to accept such a capricious and arbitrary person. One night, Zetian dreamed that a large parrot had two broken wings. The next day, Zetian asked Du Renji what the sign was, and Du Renji took the opportunity to say, "Your Majesty's name is Wu and that parrot. The parrot is His Majesty. The two wings are Your Majesty's two sons. If Your Majesty employs your two favored sons again, the two wings will be fine again." Zetian was silent. Zetian was silent. Not long after this incident, Zetian's male favorites, Zhang Yizi and Zhang Changzong, persuaded by Chancellor Jizu, persuaded Zetian to appoint Li Xian, the king of Luling, as the crown prince, which was a key influence on Zetian's decision to appoint Li Xian as the crown prince. In 698 AD, Zetian secretly brought Li Xian back to the capital city of Luoyang, where the crown prince Li Dan requested to surrender and asked Zetian to make his brother Li Xian the crown prince. In March of the first year of the sacred calendar, Zetian made Li Xian, the king of Luling, the crown prince. In the late period of Zetian's rule, the power of Zhang's male favorites swelled dramatically, and even Wu's brothers flattered them. Later, they interfered with the government with the support of Zetian. Many ministers and the court were very anxious about this and began secretly plotting to force Zetian to abdicate. At the end of 704 AD, Zetian was sick in bed and did not summon the prime ministers for several months. So the Zhang brothers took advantage of this situation to influence the affairs of the court, which made the ministers even more nervous. The Zhang brothers took advantage of this situation to influence the affairs of the court, which made the ministers even more nervous. After careful planning, Zhang Hanzi, the prime minister, and others staged a mutiny in January 705 AD, forcing the Sit Zetian to abdicate her throne and surrender it to Emperor Gaozong. The Zhang brothers were killed in the mutiny. When Zetian saw that the tide had turned, she had no choice but to surrender, and Emperor Gaozong was restored to the throne, establishing the Tang dynasty and ending the Great Zhou regime. Soon after, Zetian reluctantly left the palace where she had been the empress for 15 years. and moved to Shenyang Palace in the southwest of the palace city of Luoyang, where she was given the honorific title of Zetian Dosheng Emperor by Emperor Gaozong. Wu Zetian's health deteriorated, and she died on the second day of the 11th month of the first year of the Shenlong reign, d. 705 at 82, in the Hall of Immortality in Shenyang Palace. On her deathbed, Wu Zetian made a will, requesting that the imperial title be removed, that she be called Empress Zetian Dosheng, and that she be buried with Emperor Gaozong in the Qianling Mausoleum, that she be allowed to erect a monument to her name, not a biography, and that she asks for a pardon for the family members of Empress Wang, Consort Shou Shufai, and Chu Suiliang, etc. In January 706 AD, Wu Zetian's health deteriorated. In January 706 AD, Wu Zetian's coffin was transported back to Chenon and buried with Emperor Gaozong in the Qianling Mausoleum.